So today's topic is, let's find out, it is, happiness. Hope you can see that. So I like this topic. This is good. So when I got clean, I thought I'd feel happy all the time. That is just not the case. I have so many ups and downs, but that's life. That is just life for everybody. Every human will have ups and downs. You are never ever permanently happy. But I think everything that I go through, even if it's really intense, sad emotions or anger or fear or frustration, resentment, whatever it may be, it is never as bad as it was when I was still using. And that's what I always have to tell myself. Because that is the truth. Everything when it comes to those intense emotions when I was using, it would just pile everything else on because of all the consequences that came with using as well. And then the stress of money, where to find things, where to get the drugs, all of that washing machine brain on top of all of those emotions. So then in recovery, the happiness that I feel is the fact that I don't have all of that craziness and I can just feel those intense emotions and just be. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't need to be so much more than it needs to be. Do you know what I mean? So my name is Isra and this is Still Addicted. If you haven't been before, I am a ketamine addict. Well, an addict through and through of everything, but my drug of choice was ketamine. And I've been in recovery for just over 4 years. I also wanted to touch on the topics of the difference between euphoria and happiness. So in my using, I was constantly chasing euphoria, constantly. All I believed happiness was euphoria because I was so young when I first started using drugs and alcohol, and obviously the buzz that comes with using and that euphoric sense, especially taking uppers and being out with your friends. And it used to be such a fucking high. I absolutely loved it, but that's what I believed happiness was, is when I was out getting absolutely fucked with my friends. Um, like I said, I've had so many good times, but it wasn't real. Do you know what I mean? The euphoria sense of being out with your friends, absolutely mash. It wasn't real because even when I was out, I was spending money that I didn't have. I was doing things that I know I wouldn't have done if I was sober. I was best befriending and having these really deep and meaningful conversations with people that I wouldn't speak to for the next day. Do you know what I mean? It was wasted energy, really, if you think about it. Whereas now I find my happiness comes from the real moments that I have. Yes, still going out with my friends, but having those conversations with people and I'm there with them, I'm present with them. That to me is happiness, not a blur and a haze when I'm out. And I think that's like that chaoticness of that old lifestyle. It was just chaos all the time. And I felt like that was happiness. And sometimes I really struggle. Now my life is amazing. I've got such a good job. I'm learning and developing myself through an apprenticeship. I'm just about to move into my own house. Family is really good. All of these friendships are really good. There's so much beautiful things that are happening in my life and it's quite calm. And I have a tendency to think that things aren't right and I'm missing something because it's not chaotic. And I feel like I sometimes miss it. It messes up in my head because it's not all just everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And it's not euphoric. It's not this fucking insane high. It's just steady. And I feel like sometimes because it's steady that I'm not happy, that there's something missing. And I have to just really rewire my brain and really work on the fact that calmness and being steady is actually happiness, because I'm not having to deal with the stress that happened, that came from the chaotic lifestyle that I used to live. And I'm really having to learn to sit in that calmness and learn to sit in the steadiness of what my life is currently, without wanting to sabotage it. Because what I want to do is just press the fuck it button. Me and my partner had the conversation the other day of being, there are some times where I just want to go, fuck it, I can't be arsed with this. And I think in my head, would it be easier and less painful to cheat on them or go use? That is the conversations that we have. And it's like, that is mental, but that is our addict just trying to fuck it up for us, because chaos is what we've always known. So it is hard to relearn what happiness is. And it's mad because this is all I've ever wanted. When I was in the darkest days of my using and I just couldn't stop, and I just kept telling myself I'm not going to pick up anymore, and within an hour I was fucking picking up, and that physical pain and that mental washing machine brain, all I ever wanted was what I've got now. And it's just mental that my brain wants to press the fuck it button and go back to that, because that's what it thinks happiness is. So if you're going through that, I get it. I totally get it. And you're not alone with that. And I think as well, because I'm over 4 years, people expect me to just be all like, I've got my shit together, life is amazing. And yes, it is amazing, but I struggle with it. I struggle with the fact that it is going so well. And I think that's down to, obviously, I've always self-sabotaged. I've always felt like I don't deserve this stuff. I always felt my self-worth is so low. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like I deserve what I've got. So it is difficult. But having said that, there are so many days in where I have pinch me moments that I'm just like, what the fuck? This is actually happening. I have been able to get myself out of over 10 grand's worth of debt. I'm about to go into my own house and live this life that I've always dreamed of. That is wild to me. And I have those moments and I literally light up, because I'm like, I've done that. I have fucking done that. I've put that work in and I've fucking done that. And I think that that's the happiness that is true, because it's not all the way up here, you proper euphoric, blah, blah, blah. It's just those little moments of being like, oh my God, I'm doing it. It is like, it's just beautiful. It is beautiful, the fact that I've been able to do that. And that is because of recovery. I would not be able to do any of this stuff without recovery. I was so unmanageable with every aspect of my life. I was always self-sabotaging, always pressing the fuck it button. And now I'm just like sitting in these uncomfortable feelings that I'm getting, and it's just all happening around me. I love it. So I think what I've learned in recovery is happiness really is just that peace and the calmness and the steadiness of my life, because it's not a whirlwind that I'm in anymore. I'm just getting to be me. And sometimes I take that for granted, and sometimes I think I'm not doing it right and I'm missing something. But then there's many times where I really see it for what it is, and that is just calmness. And I think that for me is what happiness is, especially in recovery. So I wanted to talk to you about the meaning of it for me now. And I think for myself and my own experience, happiness doesn't come into my life when everything's perfect, because I still haven't reached perfect. I don't think any human being will ever reach perfect, but it comes into my life when I actually stop trying to escape it and I let myself be in the calmness. And that's when I really truthfully feel happiness. But yeah, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe, share the episode, comment, let me know of any other topics you want me to speak about. Obviously, I've got my box there, so it'll be another topic next week, but we can add some more into it. Do you know what I mean? So hope you've enjoyed and hope to speak to you soon.